All right, so welcome everyone. I'm super excited for you guys to hear from our special guest speakers tonight, Giancarlo and his mother, Mariluz. They are absolutely amazing. They have been building with this business for, I'll let you guys tell them exactly how many years, but a long time. And they have not only a huge financial success story with this business, but also and a really incredible health success story too. So I'll let them share that, but I'm super excited for you guys to hear from them tonight and learn everything that they have to share. So I'm going to pass it over to you guys. And if y'all want to one by one introduce yourself and share your story with everyone.
Mom, go for it.
There you go. I love it. Mom, go
If
for
I
it.
don't let her first, it's bad.
You'll hear about it later.
That's right.
Well, it is a pleasure. If there's something that I loved about Immunotech the moment I joined is that sense of family, that sense of community that we've had ever since. And pretty much, I'm going to just briefly say I've been with the company for 8 years, in the industry for over 28. And I fell in love because I see a mom, I see Michelle that has a baby. It was because of my baby girl who's 31 that I did not want, since I got married, I told my husband, I don't want, once we start a family, I don't want to work. I want to take care of my baby. I want to see her first steps. I don't want anybody to tell me what happened with my baby. I want to be that one mom that enjoys every moment. And the first company that I joined was the one with the pink caddy. It was Mary Kay. And I just fell in love with the idea of working my own hours and establishing my own commissions. And, what was I going to get paid? And the fact that I could have fun, also I could be a mom, but also have fun doing something that I loved. And I did that for 10 years. But I love their philosophy, and I'm not preaching about them, but I love their philosophy, which was God first, family second, and career third. And that has been my principle from the get-go. But after a while, I noticed that I was spending more time with my job than my family. So things had to shift after 10 years where I knew that that could not, my life could not continue that way because I was completely against my principles and my goals, which was my family. So I jumped, with different companies trying to figure it out. And believe it or not, I was in a company that many of you know, which was It Works. My kids, I was a homeschool mom for over 12 years as well. And my kids opened an Instagram, and just to supervise my kids, I opened an Instagram, and that's how I knew that I could use my phone to do business. And that was fun because I did not want to go to a meeting. I was not planning to go anywhere out of my house. I just wanted to do something that I could use from home. And I loved it. And I was extremely successful doing that. But then I got sick. I got very ill. Um, and for those of you who don't know, I am a breast cancer survivor. 23 years ago, while pregnant with my third child, I had stage 3 breast cancer. So during that process, while many doors were closed, I know my story needs a book and a movie, but I'm trying to put it in a capsule because many doors were closed because I was pregnant. We had to expand and knock on doors. And one thing that I learned in that process, because I was only 30 years old, no family history, it's one of those crazy things that just happen. I would read and read and notice that people that were extremely aggressive with cellular nutrition, with holistic, a holistic way of doing things, sometimes did no, most of the time did much better than somebody who just went through the conventional side. So that's how my family and myself, we started, opening our minds and researching, and then we became extremely aggressive with that natural part that actually I'm here telling you the story. My baby's 23, I'm 53. Um, so anyways, during this process, health was very important for me and my family. I wanted to stay alive and healthy for everybody. But 13 years later, I get sick again. I don't get cancer, but it was a lot worse than cancer because I was losing all of my quality of life without figuring out what I had. And going to doctors, and doctors telling me it's in your mind, it's probably stress, you have to go to a psychologist. And I'm like, I know it's not in my mind. I'm dying here. And a good friend in Jacksonville, Florida, told me about Immunica. And to be honest, and I want you to be, I'm very empathetic with people that I talk to because I knew so much about natural medicine. And when somebody told me about Immunica, I thought it was just another product. And I was like, it's just another product. I'm broke, because whenever you get sick in this country, it's really expensive, right?
Yeah.
So, but I always say, even though I was a little bit skeptical, I was still open-minded to figure it out that, hey, I'll give myself a chance. I'll do some research. I know that this is a Canadian company that was in the United States for over 20 years. And I was like, wait a minute, or close to 20 years. I was like, okay, this is something serious. I gave myself the opportunity, and Giancarlo can tell you that in 10 days, literally, I had a chronic fatigue that for months, my life was between the bed and the sofa. I lost weight, I lost eyesight, I lost muscle mass. Um, it was terrible. And in 10 days, I got out of my bed. As simple as that. Giancarlo can tell you guys that in 10 days, he was like, what's happening and what's in this product? And I had sworn that I would never do MLM again. I would never do network marketing again. Literally, I had sworn that this was never going to happen again. But what happens when you have a testimonial like that? What happens when people see you healthy, when you've gained your quality of life? It's inevitable.
Yeah.
In 10 days, literally in less than 10 days, I was already a silver without wanting to do the business. And I was in my worst financial state. I always say that my immune system was broken and my bank account was worse because I was sick. And $340 really changed my life because I was like, oh my God, I think I can help people and and make money out of it. And I loved it because it was work with purpose. So I've never felt for 8.5 years, I've never felt that this is work. This is part of my family's purpose, my own purpose. And ever since, we've helped over, actually, for the past year and a half, I've been saying 5,000 people because we've lost count of how many people we've worked with. And very different to other MLM companies or network marketing companies that I've worked for. Other companies have had products that are fad. The moment I stop recommending, people stop taking it. This is so different, my friends, to the point that in 8.5 years, um, people continue ordering the product every month. I don't have to remind them. They become desperate when they say, oh my God, I'm running out of my product. What am I going to do? Last month, I did not work one day. I still achieved my rank and I still got a nice paycheck. That's the difference between Immunotech and anything you guys have done in your lives. And I don't want to sound like a fanatic, but in my almost 30 years in network marketing, this is the only company that I can literally stop working and still pay a paycheck because this is how important it is to people. So it's been 8.5 years. And I hope that is many, many more because we are still babies in the US. We have barely touched the hem of so many people that don't know a need and they're praying for it. So that's briefly my story. I'm going to let Giancarlo talk a little bit about his, and then you could probably ask questions later on and we
Yeah.
can talk. Mhm.
Awesome. So my story is not as fabulous or dramatic as mom's. I'm sick. I'm not a cancer survivor. I was just 19 and broke. Anybody has been broke before? Raise their hand, please. Okay, beautiful. Definitely. There's been a couple broke people, so that was me. I always wanted to do something entrepreneur, always. But I always thought that to start a business, I needed to invest a lot, and I was homeschooled basically my whole life. And I've been doing volunteer work since I'm 12. So it's kind of like, okay, I want to be an entrepreneur. It sounds incredible. But I don't have $10,000 to start a business. I don't have $20,000. I don't have $100,000, to start a, like Chick-fil-A or a franchise. I don't. And the idea of college was fantastic too, but I always did better whenever I had a product that I liked and I shared it passionately. I realized I was just very good at that. Like there was something I liked, I was shared to the world and everybody believed me. So I said, wait a second, if that's the case, then I can sell, which means I can become an entrepreneur. But nobody had really taught me really that network marketing was an option. Mom had always been in the industry, but you know how it is, sometimes when your parents do something, that's a parent thing. It's not really a you thing, without realizing that network marketing was an incredible way of starting a business under $1,000. So then I see mom sick. It was really sad for the family, but then I see her get better just after 10 days. And I thought that was incredible. I had not seen that because I was 19 by that time, right? I had not seen that in my 19 years where a product in just 10 days gets mom out of bed. I thought that was amazing. So then we all became raving fan customers of the product. Mom kept on it. I started consuming it. My little brother, my dad, my sister. I mean, literally everybody in our circle became raving fans of Immunocal, especially because, by the way, guys, we didn't have the booster. We didn't have the Sunray. We drank Immunocal as it is, which for a lot of people is nasty, but we liked it so much that like we kept consuming it. So Immunotech, mind you, was not as fabulous as it is now. This was an old type network marketing company. The people were always amazing. And you know what? That's one thing I always tell everybody. When we started Immunotech in 2017, Immunotech was not a tech company at all. Immunotech did not have other products like Booster Sunray. It only had Immunocal, Immunocal Platinum, and a few others. But when I go back in time and I think, okay, why is it that I fell in love with Immunotech? I think it's the same reason why I'm still in love with Immunotech nowadays, because of the people in the product. Everything else, I just forgave it. Now that I go back, I'm like, wow, it's incredible how mom and I, we kind of forgave so many things that maybe now we would have not forgiven so much. But at the time, we just liked the product so much that it was like, wait a second, if we don't share this is a sin almost. And actually today we're having that conversation like, okay, no company's perfect and all these things, but today literally, like in the sofa, we're kind of strategizing, so to say, and we're like, we can never leave Immunotech for two reasons, but really the main reason is because guys, and again, we're 18 here, right? Immunotech has literally saved so many people's lives. And I've seen that. I've been, like I remember this one story, it's my first story to this day. It was the month when the pandemic started, March 2020. I get a call from a guy from North Carolina. His name is Danny Ament. He calls me and says, "Look, someone told me about Immunocal. They gave me your phone number, and I have a really bad situation." I said, "Well, tell me, talk to me." He said, "Well, well," he says, "it's not that I have cancer. I have cancer in 5 organs." So I said, "So you're telling me you have stage five? Is that even a thing?" He says, "Yep, stage five, basically." He says, "And I went to a doctor, and doctor said that basically I should enjoy my last 6 months of life, if 6 months." He said, "But he told me about Immunocal, and he said, I'm a spiritual person. I believe in God, and I prayed, and I realized I'm not going to give up. And Immunocal looks promising." So I gave him the whole explanation. He got on, in his case, guys, he got on 8 pouches a day. So of course, divided, right? 4 times a day. Platinum and regular. He got on the booster, just one booster a day, and he also got on the Omega. He drank 6 Omegas a day, always with food. I said, "Look, Danny," I said, I don't know your financial situation. It's not going to be $100. It's going to be around $600 to $700. I said, but this is your life. I said, I'm not going to promise you anything, and that's really important for us. We try to always underpromise and then overdeliver. I said, but there's incredible research that this works, and I have many stories. So this is March 2020, guys. I call him back in summer, call him back in June. Because we're just texting, but now in June I actually call him. He had a lot of energy. And I said, "Danny, I'm like, is this mental for me or do you sound better?" He said, "No." He said, "I have energy." I said, "Okay, good." Mind you, he couldn't even take a shower shower. He literally was dying. I contacted him back in October, and he was a new guy. He says, "Look," he says, "now I only have cancer in 2 organs." A year later, he only had cancer, just a little bit of cancer in his liver. And then of summer of 2021, he was cancer free. Now, the best part is that he decided to not use chemotherapy, no radiation. He was just on immunocare. And it's 2025. They're both golds. Recently, it was funny. He calls me. He's like, Giancarlo, he says, "I think I have a problem again." I said, "Well, what happened, Danny?" I was worried. He says, "Well, I woke up at 6 a.m. I started working outside and I finished at 6 p.m. and I'm tired." I was like, "Danny, I think if you work from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. outside, I think anybody will be tired, Danny." He said, "Really, you think so?" I said, I think so. I think so. But that's just the amount of energy he has. So again, I'm just saying one story of the many, guys. Okay. This is just my favorite story, right? This is my favorite raving fan story. But it's been almost 10 years, and there's not one year that we don't have that story. And that is very fulfilling, my friends. And again, it's been almost 10 years. Basically, Miltech has basically been my only network marketing company that I've dedicated to it. When I started in 19, I was really scared, because I didn't have any entrepreneur experience. But again, I had two things that I think are still the most important nowadays. I had people that would mentor me, that would actually care for me, not just say it, but they would actually mentor me. And I had the best product in the world. And I said, you know what? I think I can build a business if you tell me you believe in me. At 19, honestly, broke, that's all I needed. I just needed a person saying, look, I've done it. Copy me. It's going to work out. So I was like, okay, you know what? I say yes and then figure it out, right? And that's kind of what I did. And the first year was, again, a lot of challenges. I didn't make a lot of money personally. But then the second year, it kind of got better. Third year, fourth year, and the rest has just been fantastic. But, like mom said, there's a lot of freedom in immunotech if you do it right. Again, I think the basis will always be just build an amazing customer base, right? Just an incredible customer base. Have people become really fan customers of the product. Now you guys have Boost from Sunray, guys. That's amazing. We didn't have that 8 years ago. Now we have technology. We didn't have technology 8 years ago. Okay. I think, Mom, you can correct me, but I think when we got there, they will send money through checks. Think about it.
It
17.
work it works used to deposit it in my bank and we still get a piece of paper from Canada.
Okay.
That's how old we were.
So,
Old
so
fashioned.
we got
That's
paid.
how old fashioned we were.
Yeah. So we got paid through checks. Just think about it. We were an
Yeah.
old company. But again, the people and the research was always so compelling, amazing. And again, when I got into network marketing, I was always like, they speak about freedom, they speak about passive income. Is this true? So then I put a goal. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna work hard enough so that if I ever retire for 1 year, I want to get paid. And so before you know that, that's exactly what happened. In 2022, they called me to do some volunteer work in Puerto Rico. Long story short, I was there for 15 months and I was just doing volunteer work. It was a dream of mine since I was little. And I got my diamond check every single month for 15 months, guys. Every
Without working.
single without working. I was just having a blast. I was having the time of my life. Every single month. So I was like, wow, this works. You know
Hmm.
what they talk about network marketing, what they talk about the dream, this really this works.
Hmm.
And that was just so much confidence of like, wow, it's not just the industry that we still love, but Immunotech has some really nice components. And we're starting, we're really happy to have this new team in the company. And yeah, like mom said, whatever questions you have, Brittany, I'm not sure if you would like me or mom to add anything else.
Actually, Brittany, if you allow me, I would like to share a quick picture of my favorite testimonial because I
Yeah.
think they're gonna love it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, make me a co-host so I can
Okay. One
share.
second. Um, that's so weird. It doesn't give me the option. What happens when you click share?
Yeah, it says send request. Actually, let me send you the request.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, awesome. I think you guys will enjoy this. So I have a good friend that started using the product for prevention. She's full of energy. She works at Universal Studios in Orlando and she just needed energy. So her and her family have been taking the product. Her youngest daughter she was pregnant for the second time. And when the baby was born, 2 weeks after the baby was born, he was diagnosed with eye cancer. He had eye cancer in both of his eyes. So imagine that, guys. He had cancer in the mom of his belly. And when he was in the belly of his mom, he already had eye cancer. Imagine that. In 2 weeks old, the doctor says your baby is probably going to go blind. So obviously the mom knew, the science behind, I mean, the grandma knew the science behind Immunical. So, she called me immediately. Of course, they're desperate. And I said, absolutely. All you have to do if you want to feel comfortable, just show the doctor. This was a university, like one of the hospitals in Miami. Says, show the doctor that we're in the PDR. Some doctors that like to research, they're open. The doctors that, have a big ego and don't like to research, they're not open. So I was clear about something. Immunical does not interfere with any treatment. Doesn't matter if it's chemo, whatever pill you're taking, Immunical is not a drug. It's not pharma, it's food. And Immunical does not heal anything. What it does is nourish our cells and allow our cells to produce glutathione. That's exactly what it does. The superhero here is our immune system. what God put in our body. That's really the superhero. Immunical is what feeds it so it can work properly, right? So they show the doctor, doctor checks it out and says, absolutely. So the mom, really smart, the mom would take the product, so her milk would be the healthiest. And with her milk, she would mix Immunical and give the baby while the baby was in chemo. Now they told her that with chemo, the baby was going to have issues with blood, which, chemo eats up everything, right? Even red blood cells. Immune system was going to be challenging as well. And the pictures in the middle, his name is Noah. His daddy is Chinese. He's one of the cutest kids, and his sisters are gorgeous. The pictures you see in the middle, this is a baby in chemo. Usually people in chemo are yellowish, greenish, ashy color. Chemo changes the skin of the color of your skin. The baby never looked like he was on chemo. Better yet, his blood count never went below anything dangerous. His defenses and immune system was always stable. But better yet, he is considered a miracle baby because he healed a lot quicker than any baby that's had retinoblastoma. So right now, in the right, he's already in first grade. That's a little picture because he's the baby, the example baby, the one they use in the posters for this organization, because he's considered a miracle baby. But see, the parents were so smart. Of course, we're going to go through, chemo, but they were extremely aggressive with his immune system, which is really the one that did everything he needed to do. So the baby has both of his eyes. He's not blind. Everything doctor said, he went against the odds. So guys, if a baby can take this, do not be afraid to talk to every single person because even a worm needs glutathione to survive. We give this to our cats, we give this to our dogs, and there are vets all around the countries, the 18 countries where Immunotech is right now, that they give this, and the smart vets, absolutely, that they actually even give it to their horses because every single living thing needs glutathione to survive. So I wanted to share this with you because this will be forever my favorite testimonial of somebody. This is what ignites me and gives me the energy that I need to continue talking to people. That even if I want to, even if today I was like, I'm fed up, can't do this anymore, can't stand people. How am I going to stay, shut up? How am I going to shut up and not share this with people that need it? Do you know what I mean? So anyways, I
Absolutely.
hope that this is something that's encouraged you and it ignites you that there are a lot of people praying out there that actually need Immunical.
No, absolutely. Thank you so much for sharing. And that'd be my favorite testimonial story too. It's just, you said it so well, Mariluz, that like it's not just like we're not just doing this for sales, we're not just doing this for our career. Like it goes so much further than that, where we're actually making an impact. And when you truly realize and believe how well the product works and like how much it can help someone, how could you not share it with everybody? So I love that so much. Before we keep going, if anyone has any questions for either of them, go ahead and drop them in the chat so that way we can make sure we get to them before we hop off. But no, this has been amazing. Thank you guys so, so much. So what year exactly? Because I know didn't you join first and then
No, actually,
no,
mom
it's the
joined.
opposite.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So mom joined first, and then she became a silver, and then we went to the meeting, and
Okay.
then at that meeting, 3 months later, I became a silver. So I signed up like 3 months later.
Okay.
And,
Awesome.
and to be honest, I signed them up just so I can get commissions out of my own product.
Yeah,
Right.
and there was no belief.
Yeah, you're already that's it's funny because like I was in It Works too, obviously. And
Yeah.
in It Works, I did the same thing that I do over here. Like I always tell everyone, like sign your spouse up underneath you and start building that leg because why not? Like that's two paychecks for the
Double
one
dipping, double
person.
dipping.
Exactly.
I love double dipping. And actually in our house, everybody, even, my daughter is a gold, my husband is a diamond, I'm a double diamond, I'm a double diamond. Are you listening to me? I'm an executive diamond. Carlos, it's like everybody that we know in our family, one way or another, is in it because we want to make sure that everybody gets their product for free.
Yeah. No,
Even
I
if
love
they need to do the business.
no, I love it so, so much. So I don't know if you guys have had a chance to see the chat, but
Let me look at it here. It's
Monique said, Amen. Survivor here, 7 years and counting. Thanking God for your testimony. Sharnay
Beautiful.
said, bless you, beautiful. God is good, always grateful for you. That's so wonderful. Glory to God. Your story and testimony is everything. Silver, I'm running for it with everything I have in my car, on my brakes, staying close to the fire. I love Sunray and excited to fall in love with the Body Shot and so many others. Let's see, scrolling down. Okay, so Michelle said my entire household went down with the stomach flu, but myself, since I'm the only one drinking Immunical so far, my baby who's still nursing also
Isn't it
really
amazing?
either.
That's
Yeah,
amazing. Yep, that happens all
yeah,
the time. And
And
somebody's
just
asking,
wait. There'll be more
yeah,
stories, guys.
oh God, yes. And somebody's asking for the protocol. Has none of you have been trained on the protocol on how much immunocal to take?
we have not, but you can tell us.
Okay.
Lovely.
So Immunical, the classic, which is the blue, it is available. Anybody can take it, right? From a baby all the way to somebody who's older. Okay. Now we need to take in consideration that we are a protein. So even people with renal failure can take Immunical. But people with renal failure are limited on the amount of proteins they can take. So we always ask them. This is the question that has to be key for all of you. You always have to ask questions. Do you have a medical restriction? Because there are medical restrictions. Example, there are people that cannot take potassium. If they cannot take potassium, you can't give them the platinum or any of our products that has potassium, just like K21 and platinum. So we need to become, I would obsess in the next few months to become professionals on every single product that we have, and become familiar, like especially K21. K21 is miraculous. People, that don't want immunocal can take K21 by itself and see great results, okay? But become obsessed with the research that you're going to do with every single product. This is what I would do. I have a special training for my team where I create a workbook, and the workbook allows them to research the supplements. Pick your top three favorite, products, and then look at the ingredients that it has and what are the benefits of many of these ingredients, okay? And when you become familiar, of course, you don't have to memorize, but you get the idea of it, right? So you know what to offer because you're going to notice that there are many things, now with ChatGPT and many other places you can say, hey, what is good for menopause? And it's going to give you a list of things. And we have, the protocol to give it to them. And that way you'll know how to offer it. Okay. So, anyways, we don't give platinum to people with renal failure or kidney problems. Okay. We always start with blue. We always start with Immunocal Classic. And this is what we do. There's something called, and I want you guys to research this. There's something called healing crisis. The moment we take our product, our body starts detoxing, especially the liver. All of the billions of cells that we have, they all produce glutathione, but the liver produces 70% of the glutathione of our body. The second organ is the eyes. Okay. Now, imagine the liver is like a trash can. It's a filter. It's been absorbing all the junk that comes into our bodies. We're talking that sometimes we could still carry in our liver medicines that we took when we were babies. Okay, I know for a fact that when I started taking Immunical, it had been 13 years of my chemo, and when I started taking Immunical, I could taste the chemo in my mouth 13 years after doing chemo. Okay, because the liver is a filter. When we have low levels of glutathione, our body cannot detoxify because after water, glutathione is the master detoxifier. After water. Okay, so the moment we take our first little pot. The moment we take our first little bite, that liver is going to detox and some nasty stuff is going to come out. Okay. So we need to take people little by little, which you guys have been introduced to the Body Shot. So that's fair enough. Many people won't have, radical healing crisis or, feelings on not feeling well before they feel better, right? Okay, great. So if I have a diabetic in front of me, I start them with the blue and the booster for the first 3 days. And then I put them on Immunical regular, the booster, and half a pack of the platinum. You never start diabetics with the platinum. There's no scientific reasoning, but before they get better, sometimes they worsen in their issues. That's just the way the body works. The body sometimes works from, like That's called healing crisis. Before it heals, sometimes it worsens for a few days, but it doesn't mean that it's hurting them.
And just to clarify real quick, Mariluz, when you say
Mhm.
booster, I just want everyone to be on the same page. You're not referring to the energy boosters, you're referring to the super greens and reds.
Green,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. I just
Yeah.
want everyone to know that. I knew that's what you're talking about, but I didn't want
Yeah,
anybody
yeah,
to
yeah.
think it was different. Yeah.
Yes. The energy booster is just for people that like energy.
Yeah.
That is, if you want a protocol to help people heal, it's always reds and greens.
Yep.
The energy booster is for people who want a nice buzz of energy. Okay. And it could be anybody. And, it's something healthy. People don't have to be sick. Anybody can have the energy drink.
Yeah.
But it's always reds and greens if you want people to heal. Okay. So with diabetics, we start the first 3 days, we start with blue and booster greens. And then we add half a pack of the platinum. And if they have a really serious issue of diabetes and hypertension, then we do the same in the afternoon without the green booster, which is a blue and half a pack of the platinum. Okay, that's hypertension and diabetes. Now, we call this the corrective dosage. The corrective dosage is, once again, first 3 days, always start with the blue and booster reds and greens for the first 3 days. And then after the fourth day, we add a full pack of the platinum. And if we have issues like lupus, fibromyalgia, something really chronic, then we do the same in the afternoon. So we call those 4 packs. People start with high dosages at the beginning. Once they start feeling better, they go down to what we call the preventive dosage, which means we lower the amount. And for example, every day, what got me out of my bed, guys, was 4 packs of platinum, 2 in the morning and 3 in the evening. But once I got better, I only take the platinum booster reds and greens and my sport. That's what makes me feel better. Okay. So cancer. What are we doing, cancer? The cancer we do 2 packs, just like these, with the booster greens in the morning, blue and platinum midday, blue and platinum in the evening. This is for cancer. This is what people need to take when they're dying for at least 90 days. That's a really high dosaging. And usually when people are sick, I still sign them up as members so they can get the best deals and they can get a good discount because we do have packs of 7 and 6 boxes. Okay, with a good I'm sorry, with good discounts. Okay. So yeah, that's it. This is a protocol. Doctors give you these, hey, take this for 3 days, 4 days, because medications have side effects. With Immunical, there's never an overdose. There's never overdose. Okay, because the body will take the protein it needs to get to heal. So never be afraid that, oh my God, is it too much? Is it too little? The worst case that could happen is that somebody is extremely intoxicated, maybe with heavy metals, with mercury. That people are intoxicated with all kinds of things. Always have them listen to their body. You know what, Brittany? I cannot do the 6 a day. It makes me feel sick. Then do 4. Then do 2. Because Gian-Carlo and I, we've seen some amazing stories. Danny Amente's friend healed with 8 packs a day, 2, 2, 2, and 2. But I've seen people heal with 3. But Dr. Bunos discovered that after 4 packs, and when I say 4 packs, one of each, after 4 packs, it already works like a chemotherapy. Less than that, it's not really working like a chemotherapy. If you really want chemotherapy power, it's 4 packs a day. Something else that I want to let you know, guys, and this is crucial and you need to invest in this. You have to get the book from Dr. Jimmy Gutman. When you guys went to the Woodlands, they never told you about the book of Jimmy Gutman?
I don't think so. No. Can
Okay,
one of you guys send me
I'm
a
going to
put
put it down in the chat. Yeah, I'm going to put it down in the chat. You're going to go to glutathione.org. You're going to click on the US flag and it will tell you, I think it's like $40, $45, something like that. Guys, this is gold, and this is the one thing you want to invest in. Because whenever people tell you, oh, I have, let me see here. I have neuropathy, just because that's the first one. Okay, so you look for neuropathy, and it is page 89, for example. I'll show you a little bit because we're not doctors, right? We don't know it all, but we want to give the good, the right information. We want to, and I want to learn. I want to know how glutathione helps with neuropathy. So I'm going to look at page 89, and then it says that glutathione and diabetic neuropathy is going to tell me how glutathione helps people with diabetic neuropathy. So I don't have to convince Brittany. All I need to do is take a picture of Jimmy Gutman's book that explains how this works. The other day, somebody says, hey, what is the difference between Immunical and NAC? NAC is another product that's pharmaceutical that they use in the hospitals that helps our body produce glutathione. What is the difference between that and Immunical? All I have to do is look for NAC, and it tells you exactly what the difference is and why we're so much better. So the good thing about this book, it just not only explains what it is, but it also shows you the research. I don't have to make this up. I don't have to prove you anything. All I have to look, hey, if you have any doubts, all you have to look is at the research. This is all the research, all the science. So not only does he explain how glutathione works in different fields, but it also shows you the studies if anybody wants to really go deep into the study. I don't know if you also, whenever you go to pubmed.gov, if you go, that's the library, that's a National Library of Medicine in the US, in USA, PUB, and let me write it down in the chat. PubMed.gov. When you write X illness or whatever you're concerned about, and you put, let's say, breast cancer and glutathione, a bunch of studies are going to show up. Pick your favorite, share with people. Okay, because I'm not a doctor, but the studies will tell them why is it that Immunical is important to raise glutathione. So, guys, if you really want to be successful of this, you really have to learn. And this book is a must. It's in English and Spanish. Gian-Carlo and I, we are multilingual. We know more than 3 languages, so we have it in English and Spanish. But this is going to be gold, and I think it's going to be extremely helpful.
Yeah,
so
no,
hopefully it'll work out.
Thank you so much. I'm definitely going to order myself a copy. Okay, so a couple of questions. So
Yeah.
Netta asked, is it okay for the packet, like when you're doing half a packet of platinum in the morning and half in the afternoon, is it okay to leave it open for that long, like it won't oxidize?
No, when you pour it, just fold it back, put a clip on it. It'll be okay.
Awesome.
Yes.
And then
If you leave it open, then yes, it will be an issue. But if you lower it back again, it's going to be okay.
So Kaylee asked, just curious, what would you recommend with someone who has kidney failure? My dad has polycystic kidney disease, and I would love to get him on this.
Is he in dialysis?
Kaylee.
Yes, he is. So the doctors 2 weeks ago they actually, because he's been on it for about 4 years now. So he's waiting on a transplant, but the doctors want to remove his kidneys until the transplant right now.
Wow. So once again, does he have, if he has a restriction in the amount of protein he can take? Let's say that he can only take 20 or 30 grams of protein, then one pack has 10 grams. So he just needs to take into consideration that one pack a day has 10 grams. So one pack is going to do the job. I have people that before dialysis, they take their Immunical because after dialysis, they feel really weak. And then when they're done, they take it again. So yeah, one pack a day. And guess what, Kaylee? It is extremely important that he takes that pack every day before his transplant. The studies say that anybody that goes through major surgery that has high levels of glutathione, the body does not go into organ failure. Body has least, a lesser chance to get an infection, for example. Okay, and he will heal 50% quicker. Now, sadly, after he has a transplant, he cannot take Immunical because Immunical, it will increase the immune system, and he's going to take immune. What do you call them? It's a pill that actually lowers the immune system, so the body won't reject the kidney.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So that's the only time that people cannot take Immunical whenever they have a transplant.
And it's
Okay.
just right after, right? Like there is a window eventually they could start taking it again, right?
Once the doctor takes them off that pill, like if the body accepts the organ and the person doesn't have to be, what is it called, Giancarlo? It's an
Immune suppressant.
immune suppressor. There you go. If after a while the body accepts the organ and they're not in immune suppressors, they can take Immunocal. It's usually like 5 years. But before this happens, believe me, it will be a big deal of how well he responds to anything that he's going to do afterwards. And somebody asked about kids. Yes, children, even children take six pouches a day when there's cancer. She's 7 years old. Yeah, I don't know what type of cancer they have, but yeah, 6 packs a day for even for children. And if they can't do six, minimum four. I always say if you can't afford six, at least four. You got to do it. But if it were my child, I would go full blown six
Yeah.
because we want to make sure that they do better. But if they can do 6 packs a day, then do 4.
Yeah.
If it's a baby, up one pouch, yeah, and if a baby, this is what I'm gonna do, Brittany. Send me later on. I don't have your phone number, but
Yeah.
you can, through Giancarlo, I'll send you some diagrams that we have, and I think those diagrams are going to be helpful, so you have an idea of how much Immunocal to take, and I think that's going to help you guys a lot.
Yeah,
Having
no,
this.
I would
Mhm.
love that so much because we're definitely all learning so much from you guys. So well, I'll just tell you so you can tell us anything you would do differently. But what
Yes.
we've been doing as a team is when people, comment and they're interested in the body shot, we immediately put them on, like internally in the team, we call it the bundle, but we're putting them on the Super Greens and Reds booster, the body shot, depending on if it's male, female, child, depends on which one, and then the Sunray. And so we're just recommending those three products right out the gates, but we haven't been taught like, oh, certain people get them on multiple times a day and all this. And so definitely, looking forward to get that diagram and then anything else you want to share with us right now that we need to know. I would love for you to talk more about the K-12 because we got like those of us that went to Houston, we got to try it. And we know a little bit about it, but like what scenarios when someone comes to you, are you putting them on K-12 over the body shot or even like in addition to the body shot?
So look, yeah,
Can't
that's
take
okay.
it.
Yeah, K21, it's interesting. K21 was originally a product from Mexico. And whenever Immunotech, whenever they bought the license to be able to be in Mexico, what they did is that they bought a company who had K21. Now, K21 by itself, it's full of adaptogens. Adaptogens means that it adapts to our DNA. And for example, it has iodine. So it's amazing for the thyroid function. Okay. But it's loaded with polyphenols. And these polyphenols are major antioxidants. So not only are they working in our energy, in our health, in our thyroid, it also has the extract of the root of rhodiola, which balances our nervous system. Most of the diseases and the issues that we have today, it's because of high levels of stress. So to balance us, in our nervous system and to nourish us with these polyphenols and the iodine and the most important minerals that we need, it's crucial. So Dr. Palafox and Dr. Jimmy Gutman, they suggest that in the morning, the first thing you take before Immunical is K21. A little cap of K21 with a little bit of water. You're supposed to drink water the moment you wake up. But K21 in a bottle, in some water, it just replenishes all the minerals that you lost at night. So you're actually starting on the right track. And then right after, you take your Immunical with your reds and greens. So for a while, when I started the business, there's one of my diamond consultants that lives in North Carolina. In her mind, our products were just too expensive. And, she just had poverty mentality back then. But she loved how K21 made her feel that literally that's all she sold. And everybody felt good to keep K21. So she would literally buy boxes and boxes of K21 every month. People were feeling so amazing with K21 by itself that then she would talk about Immunical and then people would get an Immunical and K21. So understand that Immunical is the most important product of our company. Second is the booster reds and greens and now the Sunray. But every other product or every other supplement that you guys see, they were all studied and analyzed, and they all went through the research to be a great complement to Immunocal. So whenever they noticed the value of K21, they not only did they buy that company, but they kept the product because they knew that it would be essential. So yes, people with fatty liver, with high cholesterol, with stress, with problems of the thyroid, with fatigue, with whatever, K21 is a great complement because we still need minerals.
Right.
It's, right. We still need, we don't eat well enough, guys. It doesn't really matter if you eat organic, if you're a vegan, it doesn't matter. Our foods are not giving us the nutrients they gave us before.
100%. Yeah.
So to us for a while, I would say that we call the five, Pelayo used to call it the five, what was it, Giancarlo?
Well, in Spanish, it's called El Quinteto. I don't know how you say it in English.
Anyways, the five essentials. It was the five essentials. It's Immunical, Blue, Platinum, Reds and Greens, Omega, and K21.
Love it.
For somebody who wants to go full on with the best because they're really sick and they want to feel better, that's actually the five essentials. And
Right.
now Sunray.
Right.
But because most of you work social media, the body is amazing to reach to people. Because really, what Giancarlo and I we've always said is that you have to make sure that you create raving fans of the product.
Right.
And this is such a great start to the point. Did you guys know that if a customer signs up and drinks everything, and in 30 days they tell the company, I hate their product, I want my money back, Immunotech will give them 100% of what they invested. Did you guys know that?
It's awesome.
So that's how much we trust in our product. So we want to make sure we create raving fans of the product. So those three by itself, people are going to feel amazing. But that's going to open the door to eventually sign them up as consultants so they can see the benefits of the other. Did you guys know that the Serenity 200 has the same patent as Valium?
Wow.
Guys,
That's awesome.
same patent as Valium, but guess what? No overdosing. No addiction. Even a child can take it. Guys, depression, anxiety, panic attacks, can't sleep. That little pill, it is one of the most powerful. Because of course, I went through a traumatic experience. I almost died. I had cancer. So let's talk about anxiety, right? I've had moments, and it's been a while, but I've had moments where anxiety is off the roof. I take 3 or 4 of those things. Guess what? My cortisol level just goes down. I am nice and calm without taking away my mental energy. People are used to be drugged, and we have something that works just like Valium, but without the side effects, and it's not addictive. So that's why I want this team to obsess, guys, obsess with the idea of becoming professionals of every single supplement, because Immunotech really does have the best. And Brittany, if I were you, I don't know who your upline is, but I would
I'm
request.
just directly under Mike Patillo. So,
Oh, you're directly under Mike Patillo. Okay. So if I were you, I would seriously ask Mike to have Immunotech do a training on the product.
okay. Yeah, no, I'll definitely do that.
I would like, you guys are doing fantastic and you guys have reached so many wonderful things, and I congratulate you. But within the next few months, request that you need to have a Zoom for your team with Dr. Palafox or with whoever in the company is going to train you on the product.
Yeah. No, I'll definitely do that. I would love to continue to just learn all the things. So if one of you guys don't mind typing it out in the chat, Sherry asked, which product are you talking about? The one that acts like Valium. So if we could just like type it out in the chat so
Yes,
they can look
it's called Serenity 200. Do you guys have your magalogs with you?
And then also, Mariluz, Shannon asked, what does that mean that it has the same patent?
Patent means it's that okay, how can I say that sounds that everybody can understand? Okay. So a patent means that it has this license, that we can put it that way, where the product went through studies. And when it was proven what it did, it received a patent, which is like a permission, like a license, or like a confirmation that the product works. For example, right now I can design a cup and I can actually buy a patent that says that I designed it so nobody else can have it. With Immunical, we have 79 patents, but it's not because, oh, it's mine. Yes, actually, it's ours. Nobody else can sell it. Okay, that which is great. We have absolutely no competition. These are exclusive of our products, and no other product does what ours does. Period. So that's another highlight of our product. But anyways, our products went through a study. Once they had the results of the studies that it worked, then we got a patent or a permission or a confirmation from the government that it works, but it's also ours. So Sorrento has the same patent as a Valium, which means that it went through also a testing that it does what it does. But ours went through a testing with people with schizophrenia, women with stress. And if you guys love to sell weight loss programs, Sorrento is pretty powerful because it lowers cortisol. And when you lower cortisol, you allow your body to lose weight. So not only does it help calm down your nervous system, but it also lowers your cortisol. So it will also allow you to lose weight. So yeah, it's just those little details. You guys, I'm telling you, if you guys are done, you guys are doing fantastic, but don't go any further until Mike makes sure that you go through this training. Because if you are already in love with the product, guys, you're gonna love it so much more when you really understand how much gold that you have in your hands. Mm-hmm.
So we got a few more questions for you. Netta asked, can kids take K21?
I'm sorry?
Can kids take K21 was one of the questions in the chat.
And have in mind that many of our products, you're going to see warnings. For example, but these not warnings. These are like whatever.
It's like I always tell people, like a bottle of Tylenol says, if pregnant or nursing, consult with the doctor. But like obviously your own doctor will be like, yeah, if you have a headache when you're pregnant or nursing, take Tylenol. But like for liability reasons, everything have a disclaimer because no one wants to get sued for that one-off scenario. But I mean, I can tell you, like knowing what's in K21 and like having tried it myself, I would be comfortable giving it to my kids.
Right. But yeah, kids can take K21. Does they need it? But for example, if you take a whole cup, then give them half a cup.
Yeah.
Right. So yes, they do. And if you go to a health food store, every single supplement says, if you're pregnant or nursing, ask a doctor. It's just a disclaimer that has to be there. Okay. But keep in mind, always ask people, especially when they have situations, always ask the question, do you have any medical restrictions?
Right.
Because that way we'll be able to serve them better and we'll know what we have. For example, hey, do you have any restrictions? Yes, I'm allergic to anything regarding fish. Then we can't give them the omega because the omega is omega from fish. So do you know what I mean? That's why it's important to ask questions so we give them the right things. Mm-hmm.
I just had someone last week that ordered the Body Shot and Sunray, but they were going to get the booster. But right before I placed the order for them, they said, oh, does it have tomato in it? Because I'm deathly allergic to tomato. And, of course, one of the ingredients is organic tomato. So I totally agree with asking that question. And also, too, what I think is nice is like when you say, do you have any medical restrictions? Someone that doesn't actually have any restrictions, but it's just been dealing with a lot. Like they're really sick and they have all this going on. Now they're going to tell you and you're going to have more information. And like you said, be able to better serve them because you were able to, find out more about them. So Shannon, her husband has MS. And she just asked in the chat, she said, is there a recommendation for anyone who is on any type of immune suppressing therapy to not take Immunical? My husband is on Kymsimta and it depletes B cell immunity, but he's on that for his MS. So what would and I know there's been clinical studies on MS with this. So what is your recommendation with that?
Great question. So immune suppressors for a transplant is completely different to an immune suppressor for an autoimmune disease. Okay. Obviously, look, guys, this is what I've learned, but it is your job to research a lot more out of this. Okay. That's why I hope you can get that meeting with Dr. Palafox or whoever. So this is what I learned. Whenever you have an autoimmune, we have T cells and B cells. T cells and B cells, they're supposed to work together. Whenever you're low in glutathione, T cells are low. But our body is so smart. This body was made in such a beautiful way that the body's always trying to overcome whenever they're lacking something, right? So low levels of glutathione, low T cells. But B cells say, hey, if T cells are not working, you know what B cells do? They blow up. and they're trying to do the job of T cells. So when B cells blow up and they start multiplying because they're trying to compensate, instead of attacking the pathogen, instead of attacking the bacteria, the virus, they start attacking your body. Okay, and that's when MS comes up. That's when a lupus, a fibromyalgia, they start attacking our own organs, but they're not supposed to do that. So it looks like, oh, I have such a wonderful immune system, it's attacking myself. No, your immune system is messed up. Glutathione levels are low, T cells are low, B cells are attacking you. When we take Immunical, these words, you guys have to write it down. Immunical, it's not an immune stimulator. Immunical is an immune regulator, which means that whenever somebody has an autoimmune disease, it's not going to trigger it. It's going to regulate it. So the moment glutathione starts increasing, T cells increase and B cells get lower. Once they start working together, then we reach a balance. Does this mean that this heals 100% autoimmune? No. With people with autoimmune, we always have to be careful. And, exercise, managing stress, healthy eating, that Immunical does not substitute any of that. Okay, that's something that we have to be very aware of. Then again, I have a good friend, Brazilian Juliana Lebron. She has MS. And I remember that whenever she would do their MRIs, you could see these holes, like, I guess the lesions of MS. She started taking 6 packs a day with reds and greens. And Juliana, they can't find those holes anymore.
Wow.
So the body can heal. So yes, if he's taking an immune suppressor, I would take Immunical, because you know what the problem is with people with autoimmune? They're giving them suppressors because they're trying to control those B cells that are attacking them. But imagine if I had MS, I'm taking an immune suppressor, I'm pretty much saying cancer, any disease can just, kill me because I don't have a fighting mechanism because
Right.
I'm taking an immune suppressor, right? So in my case, I've helped people and say, look, take Immunical, and their research, they still take it, and eventually they take them off the immune suppressor because the body starts showing less inflammation and it starts healing. But always do your research. I always tell people, never get off your medication unless your doctor tells you to. Immunical is a great complement to it. But yes, immune suppressors for autoimmune and transplant is totally different. Okay, Immunical is not an immune stimulant; it's a regulator.
And I
Okay.
think I think that kind of answers Charnay's question, because she said, good question. I have a cousin that is on daily meds to check her T cells every month, not sure if it'll affect her medication. So Charnay, what
No,
she's just explaining, like, it won't affect her medication negatively. If anything, long term, it would hopefully help her get off of it, but that's not going to contradict. So the reason with an organ transplant we wouldn't want it is because we don't want the body to reject the organ that we just got transplanted into our body. But it's different when you're on it for like autoimmune, issues, is what she's saying. And then Charnay had another question, Mariluz. She said, I have a friend asking if she is on berberine. Can she take the body shot also? And berberine is just a supplement, like it's sold by.
I take berberine every
Yeah.
day. I love berberine.
Yeah. So yeah, no
Okay.
contradiction there.
Immunical, it's like asking, so you guys can understand. I'm taking berberine. Should I have breakfast? Immunical is food. It's not a medication. Never treat Immunical like a medication. It's not a medication, it's food.
Yeah.
It's the closest thing to mother's milk. So I take this, I take that. Well, it's just like asking me, can I have breakfast? Can I have lunch? Can I have dinner? Yes, you can, because Immunical is not a medication. Okay, so
Well,
yes, anything you do.
sorry to interrupt, but I remember talking to Mike Patillo a week ago, and he was telling me how you wanted to simplify the language, and he says, and I still haven't heard
Uh,
way of talking about Immunocal. And I said, well, I can tell you. He says, well, tell me. I says, Immunocal is a food with amazing anti-inflammatory properties.
Here you go.
Mhm.
She says,
Whew.
it's a food. I said, yes, it's a food. It's a protein with
So,
anti-inflammatory. So just have that in mind for simplicity. That's ultimately what Immunocal is.
Yeah. Someone
so
else just
people,
asked, can diabetics stay on the blue regularly? Which I think y'all already answered that. The answer was yes for that. Yeah.
yeah. And remember, if right now I only take two platinums, reds and greens, and a sport. And my body, because we got to listen to our bodies, right? We have our own DNA. I love it. But recently I had the influenza A that was killing people. I went up two more. So we can play also with the amount that we take. If we're not feeling well, we can increase. And if we feel better, we decrease and we take as preventive. So for example, I've had people with gangrene, they're about to chop their leg. So they're diabetic and they take 6 packs of the boot so they can save their legs, and they save their legs with 6 packs a day. And then they go back to two a day if they get better. So just like food, sometimes we increase when we need that little picker upper, and then we go back to, and I always tell, listen to your body. And your body's going to tell you whenever you take an extra one, it's like, I don't want to take an extra one. Your body knows well enough, or you're going to be like, oh my God, I did need it.
Right.
So yeah, trust it. Trust it. Remember, the only restriction with this is somebody who cannot have potassium and renal problems. And if it's diabetic, only half.
Yep.
But everything else, yes, they can have it.
So a couple more questions. One came as a direct message to me and I already answered it, but I just want to answer it on here for everyone. Someone asked, I have a friend that's on Prozac, wants to know if she can take it. And I just answered that, yes, it's food. So it's not interfering with medication. So she could stay on her Prozac, take this. And another question was, do you have a protocol you recommend for autism?
Yeah, that's also really interesting. It depends on the age, but I have a mother. Not only does her kid have autism, but he also has rheumatoid arthritis, and she gives 2 packs a day, just like adults. Yeah, one of each in the morning, one and another one in the evening. But if it's a younger child, one a day with reds and greens will be great.
Yeah.
And if the baby is extremely like hyperactive, and you can give them Serenity as well to calm them down.
Right.
It's pretty amazing. Like I said, whenever you start reading this book on autism and everything, and the research, I've had moms that kids don't speak, and they start taking Immunical and they start talking. And this one lady, Wendy, she saw a big difference in her child. And then she has a brother who's 20 years old, who's also autistic, has never spoken. So she says, "Oh my God, if this helped my baby, this might help my brother." 20 years later, her brother starts speaking. Can you believe that? Crazy stuff. Yeah, but same protocol as a child. Start them with one, and if you understand that they have something, worse, then you can increase the amount, so you just observe them, see how they're doing.
So you got two more, or no, a couple more questions. So one question that just came through privately to me says, for type 1 diabetic that's 18 years old now, but has had it for 12 years, what would you recommend?
Type 1, there's no reverse, right? So I'm going to tell you this. There are situations like that we can't heal, right? Because type 1 pancreas is dead. But when we raise glutathione in our cells, we are decreasing the oxidation. Our cells naturally die every day. Our cells naturally oxidize every day. When you're a diabetic, our cells oxidize 500% more. That's why a diabetic is prone to a heart attack, a stroke. They don't heal. Their kidneys, they have kidney failure and all these things. Now, when you take Immunical, imagine this process of oxidation, and now you're taking Immunical and glutathione, is working in our cells. We're decreasing the oxidation. So even if a person thinks, oh, this is not working, I don't feel a difference. Yes, there is a difference, because our body is oxidizing and glutathione is lowering that oxidation. And then they say, no, I still feel tired. I don't feel the difference, because people are waiting for that miracle pill that does not exist, guys. But it is working in the body. It is lowering that oxidation while these other things are oxidizing. It's healing. It's like I always say, the drugs that we take, the chemo, whatever, it's like a bulldozer destroying. Mm-hmm. I don't know how they say they're helping us, but anyways, but it's a destroy. And when we're taking Immunical is healing what the bulldozer is destroying. So you see that somebody with diabetes type 1, for example, I have a customer with diabetes type 1, he needs less pumps a day. He still needs insulin. But before he needed more, and now the doctor decreased the amount of insulin he takes. Does that mean that, it's going to heal? No, it's not going to heal. Diabetes 1 is dead. But the oxidation is less. The depression is less. He sleeps better. inflammation is less. Some people recover their eyesight because we are lowering oxidation. So yes, it definitely works. Anybody, every single living thing needs to be in Immunocal. And if you have conditions like those, absolutely, he needs to get on Immunocal.
So a couple more questions to clarify on the autism question, which I'm pretty sure the answer to this is yes. You were saying for like a child with autism, you would recommend they take the Immunocal Original, the blue, with the Super Greens and Reds booster, correct?
Absolutely. And Serenity, if they're, because I know some autistic kids sometimes get really altered, they can also
Right.
take. Mhm.
So someone else asked, can you reverse the neuropathy from diabetes?
Well, everybody's different. If a nerve is dead, it's dead. But some studies have shown that some nerves in our body can actually recover,
Right. Yeah. And
regenerate.
And
Yeah.
one thing too, I just want to add to that. There is like a certain period of time for like like a condition to like be a certain way for it to be considered like final, so to speak. So for example, this is a silly example, but like hair loss. Hair follicles are not dead until you've been bald for 5+ years. So if like the balding just started within, 1 or 2 years, you can actually reverse that hair loss because the follicles haven't actually died yet. Like, yes, you've started losing the hair, everything's going backwards, not the way you want it, but like it's not dead yet. And like I know like with a lot of different parts of the body that is the same truth. And so I would imagine with neuropathy to some
And
extent,
it
like
will.
when it just starts happening to you, there probably is a window that it can be undone. If it's been like that for 20 years, maybe not, but you could
And,
prevent it from getting worse.
and it is consistency. I always tell people it's not the amount that you start taking in the beginning, it's the consistency.
Yeah.
Because remember this, if it has taken you 10 years to get to be this sick, you cannot expect 1 week to get better. You have to allow the body to heal. So keep that in mind. When people, I've been sick, I don't see a difference in 3 days. Well, you've been sick for how long? 10 years? Then you have to allow the body to heal as well, because it's been sick for so long. But
Right.
consistency is going to be key because it works. By the way, Sherry asked me if Sorrenti is available in Mexico. Okay, be aware whenever you go to the website, whenever you go to immunitech.com, it gives you the option to change the country. When it gives you the option to change the country, you can go to Mexico, and actually, Canada, USA, and Mexico, we have most of the products. The other countries only have some products, but all of the products are in the US. Second is Mexico and Canada. Okay, we have most of the products, but in Mexico, because of legal issues, many of the products that are the same have different names. But once you look at the bottle and the color, you notice that it's the same product. So Sorrenti 200 is in the USA. In Mexico, it's PNT 200. Okay, so just kind of play around with immunotech.com and change the country, and then you can see the different products and what they're all about.
Thank
Okay,
you
yeah,
so much.
because I did have to set up my auto ship to come to Mexico because I'm in Mexico right now.
Oh, awesome.
And so I tried to, and Brittany knows too, I was trying to get Sunray here,
No,
and
they don't have it.
Sunray, yeah, Sunray is not available. So that's why I was like, maybe that's the same thing with the Sorrenti because I didn't see it on there. But thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, PNT. Mexico does not have Sunray, and it does not have the Magistral that it's for the prostate. But everything else they have. And like I said, just the names vary, but it's the same thing.
So there's two more questions I've seen come through. One was she said, okay, so Charnay, you might have to clarify because I'm not sure if I'm understanding your question. She said um, she was asking because she did not want to take too much. Okay, hold on. So Immunical is not for weight loss, question mark. It's a food. This is her question. She's saying, should you eat breakfast with the Immunical or does it matter when you take it?
Okay. This is very important. I don't know if you guys know this. Immunicol should be taken first thing in the morning, and you need to at least wait 30 minutes before you eat anything. Okay? Don't eat. If you have Immunical and you want to have a piece of fruit, it's okay. But you have to wait at least 30 minutes to eat breakfast. Okay?
Yeah,
Because you don't
anything substantial.
exactly. But
Mom,
yes,
really quick, did you say about like consuming alcohol only in the morning?
no. That whenever you take it in the morning, because she's talking about breakfast, she has to
Got
wait
it.
30 minutes
Got it.
before.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. But I don't know if you've seen, we have a really nice line of the shakes on the go shakes. People use that because it increases the metabolism. You can actually take what do you call it, substitute a meal with the on the go shake to lose weight.
Yeah.
That and the Serenity 200 to lower the cortisol. I have amazing testimonials on weight loss, even though that's not my focus, but try out the on the go shake. It's a great protein. It has high curcuma or turmeric because it stimulates the metabolism. It's keto friendly. It's full of fiber. It's gonna make you poop like crazy, but it's gonna make you feel good. But I have so many people really in love with on the go shake.
All right, and then the last question was Charnay asked, would Immunical help someone like grow hair back that they've lost?
If they lost it because of immune issues, yeah.
Awesome.
And yeah, I mean, if usually hair loss, it's lack of vitamins,
Right.
and it could be high levels of stress.
Yep.
So yeah, anything related to the
Yep.
immune system, yes, yes, yes. The
Alyssa, that is a great question. Should you wait 30 minutes before you drink any coffee too? Look, I'll tell you what I do, Alyssa.
okay.
Oh, you're
And
me.
so, Alyssa, I'll tell you what I do. I drink my Immunical, and I personally drink my coffee 5 to 10 minutes later.
Yeah, that's okay.
I have no problem doing that.
No.
Because honestly, once you consume Immunical, after 5 to 10 minutes, it's fine.
Yeah.
Now, combining, actually, I'll say something very interesting. I have a consultant from Puerto Rico, um, pardon me, that hates the flavor of Immunical. I think he's autistic, just being honest with you. He's a good friend of mine. I think undiagnosed autism. Not being cruel, I just sincerely believe that. But he was like, look, he says, I can't consume Unical with water, orange juice. And I said, okay, then figure it out. I said, just don't mix it with anything hot. So he had the $1 million idea. He says, what if I mix it with cold brew coffee? I said, well, his name is, well, I'm not gonna say his name. I said, well, um, I said, I've never done it, but there's no harm if it's cold. And guess what, guys? That's his way of consuming Minocal.
He loves it
Is that it tastes like he claims it tastes like a Starbucks shake.
because it tastes like creamer.
So this is what I'm thinking. If you get like a really sweet cold brew and that's your thing, and you mix with Minocal, it must taste pretty amazing. I haven't done it, but he loves it, and coffee can be pretty healthy. So point is, you can try it out. It's all good.
I've had moms mix it with ice cream so the kids could take it.
Yeah.
Uh, older people with yogurt, with applesauce.
I mix
You
my two boys with just like a little bit of pineapple juice and they chug it down with that. But I
Not a
I was
problem.
thinking that about yogurt. It's good to hear you say that.
Yeah.
Like if someone's like really needs it masked and needs it all hidden. So
Even ice cream, Brittany.
yeah.
Even ice cream,
This is
like
wild. Again, I've never done it, but if your kid is that picky, which is fine, and he just wants to consume Cal like an afternoon snack with vanilla ice cream, you can.
my
Yeah.
friend that has MS, she gets, because she was taking it 3 times a day. She says that in the evening she was tired of having to mix it. So what she does is she gets coconut yogurt, she puts nuts and berries, and she makes her Immunical, and that's her snack at the evening, and she's taking her Immunical.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's so many ways to take it as long as they take it. You can't put it in a blender. Never put it in a blender and never mix it with hot liquids.
Yeah.
If you do that, then you're good at it. So guys, you're on the right track. I congratulate all of you. I'm so happy to it was Giancarlo who was like, "Hey, there's a Brittany Hayes." I was like, "Yeah, let's welcome them. The more the merrier. This is such an amazing company."
What happens when you recruit like 26 people? I was like, wait a second, I've never heard of Brittany Hayes in my life.
No, we know, we
I
know,
have
we
to
know.
Instagram her.
We know we've been around for a while and we know our US family pretty well. When we saw this new group with this new demographics and doing things a little bit different, we embrace it. Hopefully in the future we can meet in a convention. We have a convention coming up in May. I know that many things are popping up, new promotions. So we're really, really excited for all of you. Okay, so congrats to all and thanks for joining. And yes, but investment, this has to be your investment, guys.
Yep. Everybody needs to get that book.
Every yes.
So
Mhm.
before we go, there's two final questions, guys. I'm going to wrap the questions up just with these last two that are in the chat. Otherwise, we'll be here all night. So Charnay was asking to clarify her previous question. Does Immunical ever help with weight loss?
Yeah.
Okay.
If it's an immune issue, you see what I mean? We can't. I don't sell it like.
Yeah. But if you had like, for example, Charnay, how I would answer this, and you can tell me if I'm right or wrong, Mary Luz, is like if someone has like Hashimoto's or like a thyroid condition and it's
There you
making
go.
them gain weight,
There you go. Of course,
Immunical is
it's
going
gonna
to
help
help
out.
cure
Of course,
that. It's going to help them be able to fight it off themselves with their
exactly,
body, and then naturally they're going to lose weight. Uh,
exactly.
and then Danielle asked, my daughter has allergies to shellfish and tree nuts. Any problems with that and taking Immunical? I don't think so. There's nothing.
It doesn't have
Yeah, nothing in the ingredients. So,
actually,
friend of mine
what you can
says,
do? Uh-huh.
like a friend of mine says, immunocounts for two types of people, the healthy and the sick.
That's it.
He
yep.
Mhm.
says the ones that are dead, unfortunately, he always makes that joke. He said the ones that are dead can't consume, unfortunately. He said the healthy and the sick. That honestly is so accurate. You
And
know, the fact that a baby can consume it, a 2-year-old baby can consume it, I think says it all.
Yep.
and my husband was lactose intolerant. After taking Immunical, he can have ice cream and pizza.
Yep.
Is
I've
that
heard of that about people healing from their food allergies. And I fully believe that because I've heard stories where people who have gone on like extreme elimination diets and just detoxified their body and cleaned it up, that when they come out on the other side healthier and better than ever, they're not magically not allergic to the same foods they were anymore. So like a
so?
lot of people were allergic to foods as an immune response because of like, just being real, like the crappy state of our body, and our body
Is
just starts reacting in all these different ways. And when we clean all that up and get our body operating the way it should, it's amazing how we all of a sudden don't have a lot of those same issues. So,
and
Really,
remember,
Brittany.
yeah, go ahead,
No,
Jim.
and look, like I'll say one last thing. I'll tell you a secret. Maybe mom spoke about it. Maybe you did, Brittany. Forgive me if I didn't hear.
Mhm.
But I'll tell you a secret gem that we have. It's the probiotics.
Mm.
Those are the best probiotics in the market. And the reason why I say that is because I've tried multiple.
yeah.
And every time for example, whenever let's say I run out of probiotics, Immunotech, I go buy a new one that says 20 billion probiotics, right? Then I'll buy a Pro and Pre, 50 billion, whatever. No effect. I'll talk about me, Gian-Carlo, okay? No effect. I'll get my Probium and Pre from Immunotech. Immediate response. Immediate response as in better digestion, incredible digestion, um, incredible mood. The pro and probiotic give me a lot of joy, like a lot of joy. If I don't consume my pro and probiotics, let's say 3 days straight, my mood is affected already.
And your fogginess, like mental fogginess for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm a person that I'll just be transparent here. I love my meats. I love my bread. I love that diet. And I'm not saying the best diet, but that's just what I eat almost daily. And so, of course, I need probably more probiotics than usual. And I always feel amazing. I have no problem. I have no allergens, zero allergens. But it's amazing for mood and for digestion. So it's not a product we speak about much because it's not like a sexy product, you know? No one wants to say, here's a product to go to the bathroom, honestly. It's not a sexy product, but it is, in my opinion, the best probiotics and prebiotics in the market. It's super cheap. They work like magic. And if you think about it, right, like the gut, it really is the essence of everything, right? So if you consume Immunocal, Sunray, and booster, and you just add a probiotic, you're automatically making Immunocal, booster, and Sunray work 10 times better. Okay, so as you guys know, the Sunray is an amazing happy pill. I think that's what the new team's calling it. Add a probio, and it'll be even happier.
Yeah, it'll be a bit happier.
Yeah.
Better absorption of the product, less inflammation because most autoimmune issues start in the gut. So
Mhm.
you want to feed it cancer, anything related to the gut. Our probios are pretty fantastic.
That's
So
amazing.
look, guys, you have discovered something amazing. And we've been talking about health, maybe next time we can talk about the financial successes to this.
Yeah. No, this
Because
was perfect though. I think this was just what everybody needed because everybody's, already excited and, doing the things that they know they need to do to go silver. And I think having just all these extra tools in their tool belt of this extra knowledge you've imparted on everyone is gonna, really help them up their game this month. So thank you guys both so much for your time and for being
yeah,
on. And we're
I
so,
can't
so
wait to
grateful.
see. I can't wait to see the acknowledgments of new golds and Brittany Diamond and multiple diamonds because I know I know it's definitely going to be possible. And we are in a good, you guys actually arrived at one of the best moments of Immunotech. And Giancarlo and I, we've had lots of fun and we made a lot of money, but you guys came at a fantastic moment
Best time.
because, thousands and thousands of consultants, we can truly say we're proud that we've kind of like set the path towards new things, and you guys have come at that one moment where we're having new things, and Mauricio is making this explode.
Mhm.
So, go crazy. Don't hesitate to talk to every single community. My business is completely diverse. I have Brazilians, Mexicans, Chinese. I have everything. Because USA is diverse and it's beautiful. But thanks to that, I have consultants in Portugal. I have consultants in Colombia. I have consultants in Spain. I have consultants in France. I have consultants in Ireland because I'm helping a bunch of people in this nation that know people in other places. And I don't have to go to those places. I don't even want to do business there. I'm happy to do business here. But there is many people. And guys, something else, just because you post and people are not, you think people are not looking, they are. Today I received a message from somebody who's following me since it works. And she says, "Hi, I've been following you since forever. Do you know that I've been recommending people to you, but it is my turn now because, I have breast cancer." It's unbelievable. This person has never reached out to me, but she still has followed me. And 10 years later, she finally reached out
Yep.
because we're sharing something. So it's every day, just spread the seeds. Every day, just spread the seeds. And like I said, you have no idea how many people are praying for something like this. So nice to meet you. Big hugs to everybody. And once again, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you guys so much for being on.
Anytime. And I hope to meet you soon in person. Okay, guys?
Yeah, me too.
Thank you,
Bye,
Brittany, for the
guys.
invite. Ciao, everybody.
Yes,
Oh, this
thank
is
you. Good
fun.
night,
This is
guys.
fun.
Wow,
Take
thank you
care.
so much.
Good night,
Bye.
Neda. Take care. Nice to meet you, Michelle. And
Nice to meet you.
take care.
Bye.
You.
Good night.